Oh yeah, Joao, I'm glad you got this guest in. And guys, you are not watching Third World Gaming. This is actually Bodega Nights. My name's Martin. We got Joao, we got our guest Migs, and did Norm just leave us? Did Norm just leave us? Oh, Jeez, Norm. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Right, so Migs used to be a hedge fund manager.
No, I'm not a hedge fund. I used to be a fund manager.
Oh, there he is. Welcome back.
I used to be a
dramatic entrance, apparently.
I used to be a treasuries trader. I used to be a fund manager. I also used to be a head of investor relations. So right at our wheelhouse.
And also one of the founding members of Critical Index.
Yes,
which has been kind of inactive exactly when
No. The weebs took over. Right?
Yeah,
the weebs took over.
They turned Critical Index into a Sakura Index domain. So no worries about that. Okay.
No worries.
Pero
in a few months, I'll be wearing a purple wig and I'll be a VTuber thanks to Norm and Miko's peer pressure.
But then exactly when like Critical Index stopped talking about like the Endoy game stock, like stock. That's when the whole
market.
Like GameStop thing like went crazy.
See, Migs, this is what happened. Just kidding.
Yeah, we stopped talking and the market.
You dropped the ball.
It's insanely
brother.
Yeah, no worries about that. So yeah, guys,
it's okay.
So question: Are you long on GameStop?
Ako? I'll be shorting it at the moment. For me,
Okay.
What do you mean by long? Like long hold?
Yeah, when you say long, you're holding something. When you say you're short, you means you sold or kulang ka. Yan.
Let's
so ako,
terms.
I'm square.
Adulting episode for Bodega Nights.
If you say you're square, that means neutral zero position on anything on the specific subject. So when it comes to GameStop, square ako. But my call is to short it.
You're not gonna diamond hand it. You're not gonna diamond hand it, dude. GME to the moon.
Dude, these are all pump and dump terms, man. Mga to the moon. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
Ano yung diamond handing?
Yeah, diamond hands kasi ganito yan. It came from Berkshire Hathaway's si Warren Buffett. So basically, Warren Buffett actually had like a company that's really, mababa na impression. People were like shorting it. So he held on to it and it's now the biggest company in the world, Berkshire Hathaway. So that's your diamond. It's basically your hand is holding diamond. You just don't know it.
Diamond hands, like your grip is so strong, you're not gonna let go of that GameStop stock, even if it goes down to 20.
The hardest material on earth.
Surprised Midas touch isn't a term at all.
Yeah, because it's a negative. Technically, it's a double-edged term. Diamond hands is like it becomes.
Diamond in the rough, hawak mo lang.
Like your hand itself is diamond. So okay, yeah. Midas is like it turns to gold, but even the ones you love,
Pero ano yan?
Still trading.
So just for the sake of Norm, think of it like this: when you're long on. When you have a long position, that means you're essentially betting the price is going to go up. If you have a short position, essentially you're betting that the price is going to go down.
Correct.
The mechanics of how that works is kind of complicated, but
not really complicated. It's really more of like, for me, I'd always compare this if I were to teach a class. It's like having yung palengke, like a public market. That's basically it. You're long something if you're buying something. You're short something if you're selling something. That's it.
Yeah.
Wala pang clearing house. Wala pang
none of that Robin Hood. None of that Robin Hood stuff, right?
Yeah.
But pero it's just how do you explain it? Like if Migs has a share of stock, I borrow it from Migs and then I sell it to Norm. If the price goes down, I buy it back from Norm at a lower price. I give it back to Migs, and the difference is my profit.
Yes.
That's how shorting stock works.
Yes.
Parang your reseller at pero inuna mo yung pagbili ng item.
So tama ka, Norm. It's more like this. The normal thing is you buy low and you sell high, right? That's a long position. A short position is you sell high and then you buy low.
Mm-hmm.
So the mechanics there is that how can you sell something na you don't have. And this is where it becomes a little bit complicated now because brokers come into play. Because brokers are the ones who have, the shares of stock that you need to use to sell. Because you're gonna need to borrow those shares. But not to overcomplicate things, but they're the ones who are charging something in between, like a friction cost, so you could be able to short sell.
And so this is what made GameStop so interesting. Because the thing with shorting a stock is if you have a long position, you can only lose as much as you put in. Mm-hmm. If you have a short position, because there is no upper limit to the price of a share of stock, you can technically lose infinite money. Correct. Or until the squeeze is closed, right?
Correct.
How are you? I thought ito yung question ko. How are you losing money? And I've watched The Big Short, and it has not cleared up any questions whatsoever. But it gave me some idea. But how are you losing money on if the stock goes higher?
I wish I had a baby.
So ganito. So think of it this way.
Example.
Ano ba magandang term ang gawin natin dito? Sige, let's still use GameStop. I sell GameStop at $100 per share, right? So because I wanna buy it at the dip or at $80 per share, which means I'm gonna earn $20, right? Now it doesn't mean that I can short a stock forever. I only have like say 3 days or 5 days to close that position. Meaning I have to be very critical of the price movement of GameStop within the next 3 to 5 days. Because otherwise, yung kapareha ko sa trade, yung nagbet naman against me, those who are long, those who are retards, would be like,
Diamond hands!
Diamond hands! Hey, by the way, you sold at $100, now it's $150. So give me back my shares, man. So I have no choice.
That's nice that you have that like time limit. Kasi parang that's what I was missing the entire time. Like, in 3 days, you gotta give these shares back. I don't care how much you bought or sold them for, pero you gotta give GameStop shares back to the original owner.
Yep.
In those 3 days. And you can't hold it indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yep. You can't hold it until my position is correct. Diba?
Hindi mo pwedeng i-hold until actually eventually mag-drop ka. Like now.
Yeah. Because there's what you call a settlement period. You have to settle it. So, say for example,
I was just going to say, can't borrow something indefinitely.
Yes. There's always a cost of selling something. There's always a cost of holding that position. That is why you have collaterals. That's why you have collateral positions or margin calls.
Yeah. Diba? So what happened with GameStop was you had a bunch of hedge funds shorting GameStop. And a bunch of us retards on Wall Street bets figured that out and kept on buying and pushing the stock price up.
Yes.
Tapos when it came time for the hedge funds to return the stock, diamond hands, hold on to it.
Good.
That way they'll keep on.
Now keep in mind
even higher.
This whole diamond hands position started at $5 a share.
Yeah.
So what was the last traded price? If our last traded price is around $50 a share, those who bought long at $5 are still 10 times earning. So it doesn't matter for them whether it goes 100 or 50 or 500 because technically I got at a low base.
Yeah.
Diba? As compared to those who shorted at $500 or $300. Diba? You're basically covering up 60%, 70% losses on your portfolio.
Yeah.
Diba?
But imagine if you like shorted it at its height.
Oo, tas binili mo
like if you were that hedge fund na, okay, sige, this is it.
Yan.
Diba? At 1,000% something.
Now, there is market monitoring kasi, guys, na the market is saying na, GameStop shares are oversold, say, twice, 100%. Meaning, if there are 27 million outstanding shares, there's another 27 million oversold shares. Now, that is with GameStop,
abuso yun, pare.
It's currently around 116%. So, say for example, ganito, Norm, meron tayong, we have a stock that's being bought or sold. There are only 1 million shares, right? But you have the capacity to short the stock over and over. Diba? So, for example, I buy, you sell, technically that's the same stock, right? I short sell, that's technically another sell. Pero wala siyang kabangga, diba? Kumbaga net negative, parang ganyan. In the case of GameStop, we are net short of 116%, or at least last time I checked it last week.
Yeah.
It was net short by 116%. Meaning for every stock that is currently outstanding in the market, tradable stock, the ones that Joao and myself can buy or sell, the amount of shorted stock is actually double. It's around 116%.
Grabe yun. Abuso talaga yun.
How did that happen? Like, how does that happen?
It happens because you are allowed to buy and sell. If you don't, you're allowed to sell despite having no possession of
See,
stock.
those are imaginary shares pa lang diba?
Yeah, yun nga. So think of it this way.
You don't actually have them yet.
At equilibrium or at zero state, we have 1 million shares outstanding, diba? But if these hedge funds sell another 1 million shares, diba? That's basically plus 1 million. 1 million plus 1 million siya. That is what you call yung net short position.
Wait,
diba?
think of it
Ngayon,
think of it like this, right? I'm short on GameStop.
The babies
right?
are gonna be selling.
So I borrow a share from Migs, and then I sell it to you. So that means that Migs owns a share and you own a share.
Yep.
And then let's say that Martin wants to short GameStop as well. He borrows it from Norm and then sells it to Grogu.
Yes.
So right now, Migs owns a share, Norm owns a share, and Martin and Grogu owns a share.
By that same amount of that same one share or two shares.
So there's one share, but 3 people own it, or there are technically 3 shares, and so that's how
that
you
shouldn't
get
happen. Kasi di ba parang
it really shouldn't happen. That's why we tried to get the squeeze closed.
So that's what happened. There's this hedge fund, I think it's called Melvin Capital. They were like, F GameStop. the business fundamentals aren't there. We don't think it's a good stock. Actually, August 2020 ata to November 2020, there were like activist investors calling GameStop to actually change the business model. These are fundamental stuff. Basically, in between before the whole Diamond Hands.
Actual business operations stuff na.
Yes, these are actually the operational side, the brick and mortar. Let's turn brick and mortar. There's no COVID, sell the land or whatnot. Let's do digital partnerships. Let's make revenue sharing models. Sure, wala problema yan. However, some trolls from Wall Street or people from Wall Street bet, nakuha nila tong info na to, and they check that, and it actually checks out that these hedge funds are actually short on GameStop. So what do? Okay, I know your position. Let's just, diamond hands together. Let's kumbaya this shit.
Yeah.
That's basically
fair. To be fair, that first diamond hands thing that was at around $10-20 was when GameStop started getting their new board of directors, and that dude that sold pet stuff on the internet and looking to quote unquote transform GameStop into a digital distribution platform or whatever. So it's more than anything else a very speculative play if you didn't ride the wave up during the recent spike. See, deep fucking value, yun yung
Yeah, si DFB.
That's why that was the reason for his initial position in GameStop, diba? It was when they got their new board of directors and had some sort of direction.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So basically, you have we call it a naked position because hindi siya hedged. Hedge fund went all in with their short, and Wall Street bets went all in with their long position. And guess who won?
Me.
You.
But there will be some losers, though. Right?
Hedge fund people.
Diba? Not everybody from Wall Street bets is gonna come out millionaires. Diba? Kasi some of them will keep holding long. Long after the peak dies.
There are a couple of bag holders.
So that's the
people
problem.
are going to be holding the bag. Yeah.
So terminologies lang or jargons lang tawag dito. When you say bag holder, you're basically just holding the bag because you don't care. You think it's gonna go to the moon. And that's another term. To the moon is whatever, to infinity.
Like holding shares na that have lesser value.
That's a pump and dump term, no? Yung to the moon na yan.
Yes. So pump and dump is another term, which means the stock price is just artificially being moved up because you're just gonna dump it afterwards. So you're gonna create like rumors and mergers and acquisition rumors and whatnot, negative info, positive info, for the stock to move up or down. And then you're gonna pump it and then you're gonna dump it.
Part of me is kind of surprised that happens, but part of me is not surprised.
Yeah, you shouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Well,
You
it's
shouldn't be surprised.
pump and dump schemes are illegal, for stocks.
Yes, especially when it's actually misrepresentation. And this is where it becomes like a gray area.
But how do you do that in the age of social media? And
That's
Oh,
the
for
question.
example, Norm, Joao is the CEO and chairman of Third World Gaming Inc. Diba? And
I like
I'm
this
the CEO. Yeah, I'm the CEO of Bodega Nights Corporated. So you saw us having dinner together. You know, we're competitors. So nag-dinner kami. So
Merger,
what
guys.
impression? Yeah. So what impression does it make? Na parang, uy, Joao and Migs are having dinner. Does it mean that Joao's gonna buy Migs or Migs is gonna buy Joao? So the day after, you're gonna bet on the market on what we're talking about. You're either gonna buy his stock, buy mine, or the other way around. Now, you short his stock, you short mine. Diba? Those are called mosaics. Kasi there's no confirmation of news and yet we're together. So people are gonna speculate because speculation is part of the wild forces out there.
I know, but then pump and dump. Pump and dump isn't illegal for crypto,
No, it's not because what's the news or what's the fundamental value inside it? There's no, unless there are actual lawsuits on the developers of it, on the principles of say for example Ripple, diba? Pero outside of Ripple, I don't think Cardano's being accused of it or Ethereum Classic or Ethereum is actually being charged of it as well. Diba? They have specific use cases or white papers kasi. And it's not managed company. In fact, it's decentralized. So, diba? So the only thing you can cite there is actually the issuer selling it already.
I'm actually kind of curious with crypto rin like
disclosure nga pala. I am long on Bitcoin and I bought the recent dip.
Oh, the dip at 31,000?
Yeah, the dip at 31.
Yeah, because you're now at 40, so that's like a 30% gain. So
Congrats.
Diba? For me, the big gamble is with Ripple because they're facing a lawsuit. Once that lawsuit is away, it's gonna go 10 times over. Yeah, to the moon siya. Diba?
So with it
brother
comes to
brother ko nag-ipon ng Dogecoin. Grabe yung gagano yun eh.
Oh my God! How's he? Is he doing good?
Yeah, dude. Like he's been buying into Dogecoin little by little, and then when Elon Musk started tweeting about it, he started selling his positions. Or he started closing his positions. So
his backgrounds. So he did like 3 times over his money because that's when Elon started tweeting. His bio is now Bitcoin. I'm like, what the fuck?
Pero galing ng like my brother got really lucky with Dogecoin.
For me,
the laggards in terms of price movements would be Cardano, Ethereum, and Ripple. Ripple because fundamentally, as I've said, they're facing lawsuits. But Ethereum is not moving as fast as Bitcoin. Because if you remember, during the 2017 highs, Ethereum already reached 1.5 price when Bitcoin was only doing 27. Now that Bitcoin is 40, if you're gonna look at appropriate charging or appropriate change in price, you're looking at around 30 to 40% increase in Ethereum. It should be trading at around $2.5 to $2.7 per Ethereum.
My cheat sheet because I don't know the price of Ethereum right now.
Right now, Ethereum's trading at around 1.5, if I'm not mistaken. 1.4, 1.5.
Ethereum,
I think it's wild.
1.6. It's around 1.6.
What do you think?
ATH na siya. So ATH is all-time high. It's currently trading at all-time high.
Let me open up the chart here.
Let me buy some Ethereum
this GameStop thing would have happened if most of us aren't locked indoors.
It hit 1.7, It hit 1.7.
Yeah, pero since ATH sila, you're looking at resistance levels where in profit takers would be like, I'm good with my money. We know that Ethereum is not as moving as fast as Bitcoin, so let me just say. Yeah. So that's the mentality there. The question really for those investing and not enjoy trading is, what's your target level for profit? Joao said a while ago that his target for profit is like anything above 4%. It's like that's the target. So that's good. You've made 230%. Cool. Pero those who are like 20%, 30%, it's also good.
No. The
reason is profit, diba?
The reason 4% per annum is my target is because the best savings account that I can find, the
CIMB.
Yeah, the CIMB.
It's no longer 4%.
Talaga? Okay, so
I think it's 4% for 1 month, and then for a certain amount only.
I think now it's 2.5 na lang yung guarantee nila.
It's like 3.5 to 4% is what I can remember. What I can remember. So that gave me a really good target. Na if I can beat that, then I'm doing better than if I just put it in the bank.
That's true.
Diba?
Because,
so far, so good.
And in the time span that you gain that profit too, diba? If you're doing that in less amount of time than they do.
Guys, do also remember that there's a tiering principle when it comes to savings account. That not everyone is 2.5%. Like for example, if your deposit is less than 200,000, you're grouped under a certain 0.25% per annum.
Yeah.
If your deposit is 1 million, probably half to 1%, sure, depends on the bank. And then kumbaga, the more money you put in, the higher the interest rate. But even at that, Joao is right. You're only gonna reach around probably 2.5% at most, 3%. Whereas inflation is 4.2 per last reading by government. The print was 4.2. So you're losing money 1.7% year on year.
Yeah, so
tax rate.
That's why that's why we retreat to stocks, diba?
Diba? Kumbaga, high risk, high return. But if inflation is 4.2, F it, we're gonna go high risk.
If inflation is 4.2, we're going all in on GameStop.
Such reasons, man. Yeah.
Diamond hands, baby. Diamond hands. Still there.
The things you tell yourself in the mirror. I need to beat inflation there for GameStop.
Just hold it longer.
Yeah.
What about the Philippine market? How's the
Oh, dude. Yeah, the Philippine market is currently trading within the range of 6,800 to 7,000 points.
It's been taking a beating, diba? Fairly recently.
Yes, because I don't know, man.
Then it keeps going back up.
No,
it hit the resistance at around 8,000, diba? And then it dropped back down to...
Market is pricing it at 8,000. We have reached that level before. I think we did 9.5. Our all-time high was probably at around 9,500.
Man, don't remind me. Oh my God. I've got positions, and when we were at 9,000, I can't.
Ooh.
Yeah, but do remember that 9.4 or 9.5 is a summation of the weighted average prices of all the other stocks in the index.
Yeah.
So say for example, at 9.5, you might have stocks in say Bloomberry, it's still trading at 8 pesos that time, which is currently trading still at 8 pesos. So hindi ka naman talaga natatalo that time. But on certain positions like, I don't know, probably MPI traded at around 7 pesos. Now it's at 4 to 5 pesos.
Yeah.
Damn, talo ka ng 3
Grabe yun. But I remember the index in the Philippines is not as high as it could be right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it hasn't recovered from the COVID crash last year.
The COVID crash, we were doing 8,000, and then the COVID crash happened. We went as though, if I'm not mistaken, at 5,000 or 5,000. So basically, if you bought at 5,000 and it's currently trading at around 6.6, that's across the board 30-40%. Magsa-7 na siya, diba?
Yeah.
So that's 30 to 40%.
Wait, let me just big regret.
Let me just check also my PSG levels.
Yeah. Although my big regret in life was selling dito at like 5 or 6 pesos. I can't tell
if I'm the one that froze or everybody else.
Hello, I'm still here.
Hey, man.
Everybody froze? No.
I'm not frozen.
Good. Can you see my hand? Can you see my hand waving?
It's at
Sorry,
7,000.
Can't comment about dito because of where I'm working at the moment.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Pero
bawal dito.
Just saying my regret was because I bought dito at 3.
Yes, it did trade at 3. I think the lows pa nga ata was 185 last year. Yung March, I think ground zero was
Nasaan na siya ngayon?
13?
13.
Oh,
11 to 13 para bigyan mo siya ng range.
Oh, the range.
11
so I bought it around 3. I sold it around 6. Tapos once it hit 6 or 7, medyo resistance yun and then it dropped down. And so I sold it resistance, and then when it went back down, it's like and then all of a sudden it hits like 13. I'm like, God, I should have diamond handed this.
FOMO, yan yung FOMO, di ba? Like, okay na yan. You got profit from it. You're fine.
No, that's not FOMO. FOMO was buying at 13 and seeing it drop back to 3.
Oh.
FOMO is when you
say you got FOMO.
I have some of those,
FOMO.
When you got FOMO, that means you're left holding the bag.
Mm-hmm. You're the bag holder. Yeah. So in the pump and dump, you got dumped.
Like you're that I say I don't know. If you look at when intraday a stock goes all the way up in price, like if you look at the volume per, like how much, usually you will find at the top where it's like insane. You have like a tiny number of trades, and then it proceeds to fall.
Just raising the price na lang.
Yeah, and
so that's what you
feel
call
sorry for
that's
those
the
guys.
peak in that's the peak and pop and dump. Basically, your share price increase is correlated with the volume or the amount of stock being traded. Basically, it's a sign of momentum kasi, because there might be some good news. Pero the moment it hits that period wherein everyone's selling, wala ng volume, it means everyone's sold their position. Magkakaroon na ng drop. 99% that's the case. So if you look at GameStop, that's the case. Yeah, all the penny stock, Philippine market or otherwise, that's the pattern for pop and dump pattern.
So like I feel really sorry for those guys like that bought right at the top.
Diamond hands daw eh. $1,000. I've been reading it eh. $10,000 per share.
Because the worst thing about it is they know that it's not fundamentally sound. Like they know that they're just increasing the price for the sake of making Wall Street bleed, diba?
FOMO.
And then you hold it. Come on, dude.
The thing is, everyone has access to information. In fact, that's the reason why they got the short position of Melvin Capital.
Yeah.
Everyone has access to info. So whether it's your trade, at the end of the day, it's your it's a consensual move to buy.
Yeah, that's why due diligence is important.
Due diligence. That's true.
That's why you need to like study.
Yeah, but we're retards, right? We're ape strong together.
Strong.
I thought we were supposed to be ape strong.
Like if I'm being honest, right? When I started like dabbling in the market a couple of years ago, like I started learning how to read like financial statements and whatnot. And then last year when shit hit the fan and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this a little more actively since I really have nothing else to do. And that's when I really started like looking at annual reports and all of that stuff. So it's like, all right, let's learn how to do this. What does earnings per share mean and all of that?
What's price to earnings? What are these?
What's the PE ratio?
What's price to book? Why are you always 2 times price to book? Oh my God.
It's fun, Norm. You should, man. Kahit momentum trading lang, because that's what I love doing.
Dude, isang tab lang yan sa baba. It's what you call an RSI or relative strength index. Ganito lang yan. There's a rule there. If it's above 50, buy. But the moment it hits 70, you sell. If it hits 30, you buy. And if it's 70, you sell. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I really like momentum trading, man. Trend is your friend.
Sige. What if it's a penny stock and it's under 40?
Exactly. All the more that you'll need RSI because momentum is their friend.
Yeah, dude.
RSI. What was that? MACD?
MACD?
MACD, moving average, convergence, and divergence. So that's another thing. I'd rather use for my trade. Personally, when I trade crypto, my go-to would be RSI, relative strength index, or intraday RSI, MACD, or Bollinger Bands.
Is that what the traders call the golden cross? Which one is supposed to be under which one?
Okay, ganito. During a golden cross,
if it looks like this,
that's
which one? Which one? There's 2 colors there, diba? There are 2 lines. One of them is supposed to be under the other.
Yeah, the golden cross is when your short-term average price breaches the long-term average price.
Yeah,
it means that that the recent prices are now entering a new normal. It's trading beyond the supposed resistance level. If it's a death cross, it's the other way around. Your long-term average price has crossed your short-term average.
So
usually, I think if I'm not mistaken, nasa 200 days ata yung process.
Is that like the red curve, yung long-term average?
It depends on your
what you're looking at.
Settings. It depends on your settings. Because like my
Okay,
50,
all right, it's okay.
like my 200 EMA is green, my MA 50 is like red, the 100 is blue. Like, okay, whatever.
Usually, default settings on Bloomberg, if I'm not mistaken, was 30, 60, 90 for SMAs or simple moving average. Yeah, tama. SMAs, 30, 60, 90. But also, part of the convention is 100-day average or 200-day average. The reason why we're using this is because, say, for example, earnings would be a factor. It's part of your 90-day. Kasi ka. It takes you 90 plus days to record it and whatnot, to announce it to the market.
Quarterly.
So 100, 200 days are good.
The reason I like the 200 EMA is it's, I don't know, it gives a good indication of your momentum.
Yes. And then you couple it with volume. Couple it with volume, it's really good.
So if you're trading above your 200 EMA, so if all of your candles are above the 200 exponential moving average, then your stock is pretty much on an uptrend. And
how do you read volume?
Volume is little blocks sa baba. It's volume is determined by either the following: number of shares traded or total value traded. So what do I mean by this one? Value of shares, volume of shares traded is say 1 million shares traded today, right? As compared to 10,000 shares traded yesterday. Yan, momentum yan. Because suddenly, there's a pop in 1 million shares already traded. That's more than 100 times. That's 100 times. Value of shares traded is that 10,000 shares might be at 1 peso, or this 1 million shares can be at like 100 pesos. So, the value of shares traded gives you the amount na parang, 1 billion pesos went to each other's hand, buy and sell, basically for today. Diba? Large chunks of shares. We call it usually crosses, by the way. When there's a big block being sold or bought at the same time. There's a big cross, sabihin namin.
Or yung golden cross nga, para it's if this is your let's say this is your 420 EMA, diba? And then your 69 EMA goes like that.
Pops. It basically pops it.
That's the golden cross. Tapos yung death cross mo is if this is your 420 EMA and then your 69 EMA goes down.
Bam. Yeah. It means it's gonna pull the averages down. So bababa dun yun. So you're basically killing a stock. Basically.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ano yan it's a good info to check also on funds because they are mandated to disclose positions.
Yes.
As part of their due diligence to their public investors. So this is where we get the information. For example, BDO fund is holding X amount of shares for this stock or that stock. BPI, the whole banking industry, or not just the banking industry.
Where do you get those disclosures?
They're public, man. You go to the website. So for example, ATRAM or ATR Asset Management, that's part of their governance and due diligence as well. By the way, if you're gonna buy our funds, this is the composition of our funds. It's like 30 days, it's 70% SDA or like time deposit banks, diba? Then 20% corporate bonds and 10% government bonds. Or depending on your risk profile. Or if you're just tracking the PSEI, then that means tracking error lang siya versus the actual PSE buyer and buy and sell. Yeah.
What's your take on like the recent move back to stock picking as opposed to just throwing everything in an index?
There are two ways of throwing it into an index. One is to throw it into an index fund. Basically, it's passive. Yeah. Another way is to throw it into an ETF, which is an actively traded, an exchange traded fund, which is actively traded. It's like a stock in itself.
Yeah.
The third way is stock picking, wherein you have a bias on a certain stock, on a certain sector, on a certain portfolio, which means you're gonna be leveraging. When I say leveraging, you're gonna be focusing your portfolio allocation, your position sizing into that sector or specific. So say for example, for me, for 3 to 4 years, I have been my messiah call is go long on AMD, Nvidia, and the video game because they don't lose. If you're gonna check investing on a 3 to 5 year scale or scan, in as much as you hate loot boxes, EA is not losing money.
Activision Blizzard recently hit all-time highs, huh?
Diba?
Except for that one-time dip.
Yeah, which is like a one-off. Diba? You would have treated that as a buying opportunity nonetheless. Diba? If you were very opportunistic, you would have done that. Tawag dito. Also, hardware manufacturers, Asus, Lenovo, Diba? Sila MSI. I'm saying this because these are already facts. On a 3-year scale, they're up 20-30%. Diba? But for the gaming companies, no, not the gaming companies, but for Nvidia and AMD, which is now dabbling into AI, the whole virtual reality tech and whatnot. Dude, AMD's I think up 300-400%, 3 years.
Yeah, but
you
how
short
does
that?
one trade those?
Did you short
Diba?
Intel? By the way, did you short Intel?
No, no. I think they revealed like no. The new CEO is one of their engineers, so I have high hopes for them.
Yeah.
Oh, an engineer
fairly-
with CEO. Nice.
Yeah,
Fairly,
technocratic na ulit sila.
I was actually gonna pull the trigger on Intel before their most recent earnings call. No, their earnings call at the end of last year.
Recently lang.
But then that was buti na lang hindi.
The thing is kasi, AMD has been trying to get market share from Intel, but I think the last series gen for their CPUs, I forgot the name, but yung 10 series nila is actually cheap and more competitive than it ever was, than any of their previous series CPU. So in terms of pricing and performance, they're able to battle it out.
I think the reason that I was kind of iffy was because of Apple.
Oh, they sold their business to Apple, so that's a one-off cash gain for them, diba?
Yeah,
it's like liquidating your business, and someone is willing.
Iffy part on the Apple for you, Joao?
Because Apple doesn't like Intel anymore.
And yet they bought their business.
They bought their business.
Yeah, that's how they hate it, but they bought it.
If I'm
It's
not
like a Vince McMahon move, like him buying
think of it,
WCW.
yeah. So think of this way, Martin. So remember, Intel is also they tried to invest in 5G, 5G networks and whatnot, 5G technology for the phone, for the computer, and whatnot. Fair and good, right? And then suddenly we hear news that Apple bought their 5G division. So for me, I like the move because Apple is straight into 5G because of their handsets for the iPhone. Diba?
Right.
So I don't know if that will also be incorporated, say, in a MacBook or a MacBook Pro. Diba? It's going to be SIM powered. You don't need a Wi-Fi connection. Diba?
Yeah.
You can just use your SIM card for a 5G connection. And that's gonna deliver what? 1 Gbps, 2 Gbps. Diba?
Speaking of Apple, dude, Apple is going crazy, huh?
For the longest time, yes.
In what way?
Yeah, in what way?
Like, oh my god,
There's
Aside
so
from
many
the
ways.
Intel,
I mean, like,
They're not moving. No, the price movement is not as wild as GME. That's for sure. It's not moving by 20%, 30%. But think of it as a Navy crawl wherein it's moving 1% net for each week. There are 52 weeks. Therefore, that's a 52 week gain. 52% gain. Ganon siya gumalaw. Navy crawl ang tawag.
because,
So
like,
yes.
because what's it? I ended up taking like my, again, disclosure, the largest position in my portfolio is Apple, and I completely loaded up after the split.
Dude, kasi ganito yan. They made money. Well, the margins are now better with the iPhone 12 because they don't carry chargers anymore.
Yeah. And like
Diba?
they also started they announced, and this had a really weird impact on their price. They also announced that they want to get into making cars.
Cars? Yeah. Driverless cars, AI cars. Yeah, for the longest time. Yeah. Even gaming consoles.
Yeah, and it's like when
Really?
they made
Gaming
that
consoles?
announcement.
Yeah.
But like they're actually partnering up with like some company or whatever to make.
Usually,
cars
the
now.
usual suspects for that would be NVIDIA. For AI, for the processors naman, it's AMD. That's why, in as much as they are competitors in terms of the GPU space, the use cases are different for both AMD and for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is really more of the algorithm type. I'm gonna be the best GPU for mining, for mining
for Bitcoin mining.
for Bitcoin. AMD is more of like, oh, by the way, you bought a PS5, we're inside it. You bought an Xbox 360 Series X, rather, we're inside it. Diba?
You know where it's not? In my computer. There are no stocks anywhere with a reasonable price.
For AMD? For
What's AMD
for
trading at now?
NVIDIA?
Any graphic card.
Oh,
Kasi the market, think of it this way, the market is back to 2017 levels. We're in, there is a dual price increase across memory cards because everyone's back into the crypto. It's cheap to mine a Cardano. Diba? It's worth like 20 pesos per coin, right? So people will be like, sige, I'm just gonna buy a 3060 Ti for mining purpose and mining.
And then what? What's the profit with there? You mine for
Yung hash
for
rate mo.
cryptocurrency and then you.
Oh, so your cost of electricity versus yung hash rate mo, how much per bit. You can translate naman your hash rate into pesos, dollars. That is why governments are back to mining. Nakakainis. So kung may so I'm buying 10 Ti's by the way if anyone is selling.
Buying what?
Hit me up. If anyone is selling 10 Ti's there or ping me.
You're mining yourself.
Diba? Kasi cheap na lang yung mga yan. 10 series still provide like a good hash rate. Di mo naman kailangan ng ray tracing when... You don't need ray tracing when you're mining bitcoins, man. So 10 series are the best, especially when they're cheap.
Yeah. Pero like the RTX series is like... Actually, I have another question. Like, what do you think is the future with... What does the NVIDIA gaming online thing versus Google's
GeForce Now?
GeForce Now.
GeForce Now? Or in as much as I'd like to cover... I think it's also part of my job, so I can't disclose. Sorry.
All right, fine.
Gets mo na.
Gets
Oh
mo. I think ako na lang mag-comment. I think there's a possibility there, but we're severely limited by massive high-speed internet access.
Oh, by the way,
right
Globe
now.
has like 100 Mbps in Makati, just so you know.
Not in Makati.
Actually, they have 5G towers up in Cebu as well, huh? So,
Yes, no, across the board na yan. Like, here in Taytay, I have a 5G Globe signal.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before they get 5G towers everywhere. Pero, so I guess, like...
Ganito yan. Well, 5G, basta 5G merits is that high speed, lowly. So, better 5G.
All right, so on the 28th, we'll be recording with a couple of our friends again. We got X, we got Joel, and we are going to get Cheska Litton. We're going to talk about Servant of Two Masters, the 10-year anniversary.
Whoa, dude, we have Cheska Litton.
Yeah. Wait, is Cheska Litton different from Isa Litton, or are they the same?
Dude, they look the same. I mistakenly thought Isa was Cheska, so when I approached her
They're different? Oh my God.
9 years ago, ate si Cheska. So I was saying, oh my God, you're not Cheska? I'm sorry. That was the most awkward time I got introduced to her sister because I thought it was her.
Was it awkward or was it awesome?
It was rather awkward because I was going to ask, hey, so how have you been? How's that? Like, oh shit, you're not him. Oh yeah, I was that bald guy who was acting with your sister that night. Bye.
Wait, so Isa's more of like our age or?
A bit. Yeah, a bit younger. And yeah, Cheska's Paul Echo, apparently. So yeah,
Cheska's Paul Echo.
Yeah.
Si Isa, is she UNP?
I don't think so. Good news because we got them. Bad news because we're grabbing some more.
What do you mean grabbing some more?
The cast ain't that small, man. We're around
So you're grabbing
10,
everybody?
It's gonna be one school bus of a.
It's gonna be another school bus, man.
It's not. It's less of a podcast, more of a webinar.
Yeah. Again.
Webinar on Kieto.
Again. So yeah, that's the announcement.
Reminiscence.
If you guys are watching and you haven't replied to your messages, this is the message. If you're free on a Sunday night, check the details. We're right here on Zoom.
I like that the message is buried 40 minutes into a podcast.
Because I was recruiting them during the recordings.
Which, if you're listening for us for this long and still watching, you gotta go to our Patreon on Bodega Nights, channel14.com. And
No, it's actually
be on
patreon.com/
links in channel14.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We've got a
PayPal,
YouTube,
guys.
we've got a
PayPal.
Spotify.
This is why we don't make money on this. Because
Yeah.
Because we make money out of GameStop.
because we made money on
Yeah, we-
GameStop.
The real profits are diamond hands, baby.
It was funny because a few days ago, I messaged Joao, how much money do we need to, renew our site? Apparently, we still have a lot of years to go for the next site renewal. Thank you,
Like
GameStop. Thank you, GameStop stocks.
No, site domain management is like 3,000 a year.
How much is it? No, I mean,
How
it's
much?
like, because it's mura lang, because
Just domain, just the URL, the whole.
yeah, just
it's like-
the URL is about $8 to $10 a year or something for .com.
Whoa. Holy smokes.
Depende pa yan. If it's like a short word and whatnot, if it's not like a Web 2.0 name,
Yeah,
like
but then
.com, I don't know.
I mean, like those are really expensive upfront because they're being squatted on already, and you're not going to ICANN. You have to go through like.
Oh shit! Joao, buy diamondhands.com.net.
You guys can continue talking. I'm going to
Gonna buy the domain
We're gonna buy the domain now.
using
I know we're
GME
still good
profits.
for like
It's strong that
years. So, guys, this is how you guys can help us being a monthly patron, because a few years ago we had enough money to shore up this domain for the next couple of years. So, thank you, guys. Now you
Few
can
years ago?
Yeah, a few years ago. I think we renewed it 2018 or 19 when you cashed it in. I remember that. You visited the.
So your money just goes. The Patreon money just goes to maintaining the website. We don't actually.
Yeah. We don't
profit in
actually
any way, sort of.
profit from it, guys. It's just really for the
And
site.
everything here you see here is from our own
Our own money.
pockets.
yeah. This
Even
is,
that thing behind me, who looks like a
That freaky thing
person,
is-
whoever
Take a check it
that
out,
is.
Martin.
I can't.
It's like a psycho killer, like peeking over the corner. It's like, is it time? Is it time to stab him?
Fine. I'll just turn off my video. I'll be back.
It's just I'm blaming Lawrence. I'm blaming Lola for this because
Yeah.
of his storytelling. Like,
I'm not sure this episode come out. This episode is out, right?
I don't know.
What episode?
I
Aren't
think
you
so, yeah.
supposed to upload the Miss Vida episode part 2 today?
Is it not out yet?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is the Lolo? I think the Lolo episode should be coming out like today. Is it? out?
You
I
said
don't
we
remember.
have to move it back because the part 2 of the Vida episode should be out first. What did you put out first?
I don't know.
You control this.
Point is, I want this to come out like really soon because we're talking about GameStop.
Okay.
Timeliness is everything.
We can put this out tonight. Just kidding. Same day edit. Nah.
It as well go live for Patreons only.
For Patreons only.
Wala ba kayong OnlyFans?
Norm has.
Funny that you mentioned this.
Sorry that you meant.
Norm.
People pay me to
about
keep my clothes on.
Yeah, clothes on, then off. But yeah, I don't see anything pending on our site, so I think we can put this up like sooner. It's up to you, man.
Yeah.
Like, and then we can put the other stuff in.
In the Bodega cinematic universe, none of this is actually time bound. So.
The BCU. Oh my god. I like
The Norm Cinematic Universe or like the Bodega Cinematic Universe.
the Radio Norm Cinematic Universe.
Diba? Meron tayong Martin Vision.
Martin.
Have you guys been watching WandaVision?
Yes.
By the way,
I love the last episode. Oh my god.
Trippy AF.
it's really good. Huh? It's like one of my favorite.
We're on Disney Plus, man.
Joao, is this the best cold opening and opening sequence you've ever seen in WandaVision ever yet in F5? I like the 80s touch.
Yeah.
Oh god.
This is why we should be sponsored by like a VPN company, right? That way, like.
Or how about Raid, Shadow Legends?
Surfshark or like Norrid.
No, I mean,
Or Skillshare.
Or Skillshare.
Or
Squarespaces.
Audible. Squarespace.
The
Is
reason
the
I mentioned
site.
a VPN, the reason I mentioned a VPN specifically is because we don't have Disney Plus here, right? Like that's how we get our Plus accounts.
Not yet.
Ironically, we have Disney Plus here, but I'm too lazy to subscribe, so we are.
in Brazil?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, they do. There's a lot of
How
Facebook
much?
ads about it already.
How much?
It's
Like,
funny because 29 something reais, I don't know, 29 reais. It's still affordable, so that means like it's 299 pesos.
I really love the way that
Mura.
Disney, you get National Geographic, and the other one, Discovery, whatever, the one
All of
below
those
it.
for 300 pesos a month?
Yes.
What?
And it's more than one account, I heard. Because here's the funny part. The driver of one of our bosses offered my boss, hey, I bought Disney Plus, and there's 3 more users. I want to be the extra user. Here's my login.
Ooh.
Okay. It's that cheap. Anyone can buy it here.
I mean, that's really how these services should be pricing anyway. Like
Yeah,
it should
like-
be, they should be tiered depending on where you are in the world.
Oh.
That's the
Let's see
reason I
Netflix
stopped pirating.
here.
The reason I stopped pirating music was because Spotify is dirt cheap here.
Yeah, like
That-
Netflix here is a
the problem.
Xiao makes a good point.
It's
That-
300
yeah,
plus
that's
per
the
month
problem
on
now.
my plan.
People will go back to piracy because they can only Netflix or Disney Plus.
Yeah,
So they have to, parang, all in all, you're gonna spend like 2.5 for all of these streaming sites.
yes,
Diba?
Oh,
Which is-
no.
Which is what you'd spend on cable.
yeah.
If,
So basically
if
get
you-
cable.
Yeah, you basically have
Yeah,
cable.
but we're already paying for the internet.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have cable, so
Ayun.
buy Netflix.
But then, like,
Sorry,
you know,
I've got this thing where the further we go along, there's more of these new necessary expenses that keep piling up, and yet the wage growth is stagnant. You get me?
Especially during this pandemic where people are actually getting laid
yeah.
or getting pay cuts.
Yeah.
Diba? That's true. So
That's why people are cashing in on GME right now. Like, this is it. This is how I get rich. This is how we beat the
Diba?
system and finally afford Netflix and Disney Plus. GME.
Joe, which begs the question, what were you using to trade GameStop? Were you using like eToro or like IQ options or whatnot?
eToro.
eToro, yeah.
What's a good one though? Like, I haven't jumped into the GameStop diamond hands thing, but it's not too
But you
late. Right?
you cash in eToro using what? Like you still use like your MasterCard account or do they make you make a new account?
Bank. Online banking through Dragon Pay. So it's
not bad. Not bad.
you know, if you make a good trade, you can just cover the fees that
The spread.
Yeah. So it's all right.
That's true. Yeah, steady. Usually the spread is like 5, some very 5%, minsan 10% pa nga of principal of
Yeah.
value traded.
Oh, it's all right. I mean, it's not Robin Hood. Thank God for that.
So even during the Robin Hood ban, by the way, here's my cat Ponkan. So
Wait,
even
is
during the
that
Robin Hood,
muffin.
this is Ponkan.
Oh, Ponkan. Wow. Ang bilis lumaki ah.
Yeah.
Parang
Very
last year lang. Ponkan. Now, the first, that's the part of the first letter of pepper or second?
Third letter of pepper.
Holy smokes, Oreo, you pimp. Oreo, you pimp.
Wait. Oh, off you go.
So, yeah. Parang a 4 or 6 years, 5 years ago, the first live FB stream we did for Critical Index, Oreo was in the background. That's the only
4
cat.
years ago.
Okay, 4 years ago. Okay, yeah. Oh my God.
Do remember I bought Oreo for my ex. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
How's Oreo now? He's still good.
yeah, chunky black and white cat. Great song.
He's a mascot. Some mascot. Remember. But, man, speaking of that whole stocks thing, would you ever think there'll be another thing that will happen similar to GameStop that just happened a few weeks back?
Very good question. It depends on
Of course.
why you're actually going back to it. Because while GameStop was actually a stock that was being shorted because for fundamental reasons, suddenly it was its Wall Street bet that said, okay, F this, we're going to go back. Basically, the WSB or Wall Street bets were anonymous that time. So it's just a forum off of Reddit. Now it has become known. Now has become what's the next move. So they're now being monitored. And highly likely not just by speculators, but also by regulators.
Yeah. I don't know. But then if you're talking about like a black swan event of some kind, of course there's going to be another one.
Dude, yeah, there's gonna be another one. But then again, imagine this one. GameStop is just one company in a whole universe of companies. So what we are actually discussing this because of this very peculiar effect that the man has taken in the hedge fund. It's rare that you see this instance. That's why it's celebrated.
Yeah.
But if it's the other way around, if it's a successful short sale, it's gonna be another day in the office.
Yeah, but then if you're talking about something like this whole Occupy Wall Street from my bedroom and make some money out of it.
Yeah,
I mean-
Occupy Wall Street by selling Wall Street. Wow, good. Congratulations. You basically made the money. By
Pero
virtue of the
ano,
spread and the whole commission fee, whatnot, you basically made the money as well.
But then I think Martin, what you're talking about is like another big move that people are going to be able to profit from. Of course, it's going to happen again. It always does. They always say it's a once in a lifetime thing, but how many huge, like
Once in a lifetime things.
how many once in a lifetime things in the market have we seen in our lifetime, diba?
Tesla.
Diba? There was there was
There's been quite a few
2008.
now.
There was the .com. There was a .com bubble.
Yeah,
There
if
was,
anything, these are cyclical events.
yeah.
1928, 1944, but then again, that's due to war. 1987, 1997, 2000.com, 2008 with the credit crunch, 2011 with the sovereign defaults, or basically your eurozone leading into the collapse of the eurozone, and now we're basically waiting when's the next cycle going to happen. Well, it already happened with COVID crashing the markets, but we're now recovering. So are we now going to say that this is a boom year, which we're expecting right now, and then we're expecting until 2028, 2030 before we get another cycle of market correction?
Yeah, so it's ano. And
Because, yeah, Jao, kasi to highlight, if you did bet 1990 or early 2000s to the index and you just hold on to your holdings, then diba, we are at historic highs.
yeah,
We're not at the same level 20 years ago. Even with the PSE, diba?
yeah.
Diba?
We're a generation that's known nothing but a bull market.
Exactly. We have an experience of around 10 years from now. Rather, our levels 10 years right now is like lower. Hindi natin na-experience yun. We're in the market's just trading down. Probably Japan, but then again, if we're gonna look, Japan is also evolving in terms of how the market works.
Yeah, Japan has been trading sideways for like 20 years now. No,
Same with their interest rate, by the way. So
yeah, no, I mean, like that was my point, right? Like Japan's interest rate, and both Japan's inflation has been like zero for forever, right?
think of it. The guiding principle is you're growing because you're spending.
Yeah,
right?
but
so
then
how can they grow if they're not spending?
Because
they're able to save.
Because their national debt is 200 times their GDP.
Correct. No, exactly. So because they borrowed so much to propel their economy, now it's a question of how do we pay this and who should be paying for this? Diba?
Yeah.
They're still the second, third largest economy in the world, sure. Pero it's like a company's over leveraged in debt.
Yeah.
Now you have to make the you gotta walk the talk. You now have to produce, you now have to spend, and that's why they're relying on tourism. Which
Tourism.
it's through the move. Yeah. Diba? Look,
you gotta rely on their VTubers now.
Because the manufacturing moved to like China, Korea. But that's what Japan was like in the 40s and in the 50s when they started accumulating all of this insane debt.
Dude, I'm suggesting you guys also invest. Kahit 3,000, 5,000 pesos, you can start with it. Or trading. Man. Para lang makita niyo yung... So you could actually tell that I'm a warrior. I either made money or lost money and it's still a tough guy. I survived GameStop, parang ganyan.
Yeah, it was diba? Like I mentioned earlier, I'm still long on GameStop, and like a small percentage of those games, a small percentage of those paper hands games, I threw back into GameStop just for fun.
Just to frustrate the shorters.
Yeah.
Malay mo kasi biglang mag-flip and then the short sellers buy their position. They buy back their position. And Joao makes money. And he's gonna be laughing.
Bottom line is, I like the stock.
Nice.
You keep on seeing
Despite the volatility.
It's an emotional play.
Yeah. It's a YOLO.
Yeah.
I'd say it's more of like a trolling play than it is emotional because you're just gonna end up laughing at it.
Well, there's
Like, because effort, that's why.
But you have your core positions, your Teslas, your Apples, your, all of.
Teka lang, core ka sa Tesla.
If you got it when I did, yeah.
Oh yeah, so no. What I'm saying is fundamentally, I don't think it's also sound. If you're gonna make $25 million for market capitalization, half of Apple.
There we go.
Ganito. For me, for possessions like that, I follow Michael Burry, the guy from The Big Short. He's shorting now Tesla.
Yeah, he is. I'm a Kathy Woods fan. Oh,
right. I'm a Michael Burry guy, so no worries about it.
So so your Palantirs and your
Sorry guys, the trading philosophers na to. Mga gurus.
Yeah. Yeah. So ayun, there's the core position, but then there's also the meme portfolio.
The tactical portfolio. The tactical.
What's a tactical portfolio?
So basically, you have your long holds, right? You have your Apple, your FANGs, basically. Your Facebook, Apple, your Google, your Netflix, and then it's gonna be like a 10% that you'd use to play with the market. You know, the stock boner. That's your GameStop. That's your BB. That's your AIM. That's your cryptos. Actually, your cryptos can actually become more of your volatile, but you can also put it like a not really core, but risk for hedge betting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, just crypto should be something like 2 to 3% of your portfolio, just so you can diversify.
F it, I'm gonna put it at 10. Okay, so, diba? So, diba? Why not? Well, 10% usually is for liquidity. Yung mga golden rules, mga golden means natin. 10% is for liquidity. You can average down on your stock.
I'm still not sure how much is my crypto is like a tiny percent of my portfolio right now.
Is it millions?
Oh,
Millions of Joao's cryptocurrencies.
Millions of those coins.
Coins.
I have more cash than I do any other asset class.
It means you're risk averse.
It means I'm waiting for the dip.
Yeah, exactly. Just the dip. Just the dip.
Wanna double dip?
Y'all don't want that.
But yeah, man. Thanks for dropping by to talk about like this thing about GameStop and GameStop and stocks. Man.
Yeah, 5% of my portfolio is crypto.
Oh wow. Okay, that's still big. Thank God I don't have
I gotta diversify
like that. Because wow,
a rule in investing. A rule in investing is that you don't count it by the amount of money you have. It's by the percentage. So regardless if it's like 100,000 pesos or $1 million, you count it by the percentage. That's how you measure your risk.
See, like I put some money on some stock like 2 years ago, which was bad because I did not track it. And then I saw what it's worth now, and I'm like, shit, the pandemic did the number on me.
Good or oh no. Got it. Noted.
PLDT 3,000.
I've got a lot of bags.
Oh, you got no money bags.
It's like all bags.
An expensive tuition fee. It's like going to a wait.
Yung
it's a long wait. It's a very long wait.
But then if the market drops, now's a good time to
Please, it's a good time to pero I don't have any buying power right now.
What's gonna make the market drop though? Like we have the vaccine already, so technically most of the industries are now actually rearing.
It's growth na from here on end.
Supposedly. It's just a question of whether it's gonna be a V-shaped reversal or a U-shaped reversal. Right? Meaning, is it like a very, very sharp increase, or it's gonna be like a gradual marine walk type of thing? Right?
We'll see. I don't know. I feel like if we're talking about local markets, I'm watching what our COVID yung quarantine levels. Like I feel like every time they say that we're extending the GCQ again, it's like you just want the market to keep going up. No, it's a selling opportunity. It's like he's extending it because if we go back to a tighter GCQ, that's going to crash everything.
I know, that's a buying opportunity.
If it crashes and you have that cash, but when it does,
it's a buying opportunity.
Yes, fire sale, diba? Para diamond hands tayo, man.
How can Joao be diamond hands and naka-cash pa siya? He needs to buy something first. That's why he's waiting for the dip.
Yeah, waiting. Yun yung point. Yeah, it's like the moment that changes for a tighter quarantine, diamond hands ka na. Buy something.
I mean, like what's it? I wasn't able to buy the recent dip in the in the PSEI, which
I think 6.6, 6.8.
Yeah. Or well, I don't buy an index fund. I like
the
buying
picking,
the FM
individual. Yeah,
but I also like First Metrosec has an ETF. If I buy into
an index ETF. That's true.
Yeah, I put it into FMETF.
So you
That
can easily go in and out. Tama
Yeah,
naman.
if I
T+T
need
na
to
naman sa
cash,
target. Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Because index funds
Pero
take too long.
for me, for me na, this is my personal opinion basing it on the market. Since most of the toll roads are now made by San Miguel, it's just a matter of time of people going back into the streets and traveling, and that they're gonna be using it.
And profit,
Diba?
profit.
Diba?
So
If
you're
you're gonna be
So you're long on San Miguel?
not yet, you're going to be.
So Migs,
By
will you belong
Monday.
on San Miguel eventually.
No, because no, if you're gonna think about it, diba? Kakatapos na ng Skyway Stage 3, which basically
Infrastructure,
connects. Yeah, infra. Diba? Go infra. Basically, this is the pivot of the government. So might as well invest on it, right?
Yeah. San
If you're
Miguel,
gonna be using
trading sideways.
worth it to invest in it. Diba? That's why. Right?
Yeah, it's trading sideways because sure it's built, but what's now the cash flow? So magiging operating cash flow model na siya because you're not going to be basing it on projections of people going back to the road, like your
But when
farm
schools start
to market,
again,
farm to market transportation and whatnot, will they be utilizing this the stage 2?
In other words, nag-iipon siya.
Yes, it's accumulating. Chance to buy.
ano naman tayo.
Diba? Tapos, by virtue of positive correlation, if they increase, then your agriculture and food and beverage will increase because they're the ones transporting goods left and right at a faster turnover.
So we're just hoping for San Miguel Corporation to hit 2019 levels, and that's when we close the position.
Well, technically, para na siyang infra is more reflect your fixed income returns because you're basically just getting OPEX ka na lang for this one. You're not building new well, unless they're building new new skyways pa and whatnot. But you're basically accumulating your toll fees from across the board because that's part of their contract, diba? You're gonna be operating it for so long.
I think I've got like 5% in rates.
Real estate investment cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a
Which one?
it
Ayala
should be
or
solid.
Ayala pala ata,
Ayala.
Yeah,
Ayala
Ayala
pala.
pala.
Double Dragon is about to come out, which may or may
Yeah,
not.
which
affect the
means I
price.
have to buy Double Dragon.
Grabe yung A-Rita when they first IPO'd it. That was insane. Like
Did you know
that drop
that this was my IEP thing? We were doing REITs during my IEP time. It was under Mr. Pineda. I forgot Sir Edwin
All right.
Pineda.
Tell the details.
It took long enough
Basically-
for REITs to show up in the Philippines.
Yeah. Basically, REIT is more of like, it's a publicly owned company of the real estate. Wherein 90% of income is actually given back as dividends. In exchange, it should be net of tax, no taxes.
Well, diba? A REIT is usually described as a proxy for rental income. Like you can't afford to drop like 3-4 million on a condo.
Should that be like a long play? I feel like that's a long play. It's like a stock that you're
dividend
selling.
play. It's a dividend play.
Yes, there you
Yeah.
go. It's a dividend play because 90% of revenues goes back as revenues as dividends to the investing holder.
So think of it like the four of us put 1 million pesos into a pot, and then we buy like a condo somewhere in like the fort, in the outskirts of the fort, and then we split the rental income.
Rental income. There you go.
Well, we split 90% of the rental income 4 ways, and that 10% is the management fee.
Tama.
That's essentially what That's essentially what a REIT is.
Interesting. But it's like trading at 70 na, diba? So that's the
70,
sell price.
Yeah, so it's a game of it's going to be a game of how land banking na because how much land can you put into that single REIT, diba? And how big of a portfolio can that REIT accumulate?
They bought another building, Ayala.
I don't know yet. I'll read the disclosures first, but yeah, that's how it works. Kumaga, the bigger the portfolio, the more the dividend.
Diba? A-REIT is trading at 32.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh,
I don't know it.
So yeah.
Thinking about it. But then what do you think?
I don't know. I may just like drop some of my some of the bags and fuck it.
Drop your best.
Just to have liquidity.
You're feeling the weight, Norm. You're feeling the weight at the moment. Kasi ang bigat ng portfolio mo. Yeah. See, now you're getting
It
the sense of
doesn't
why it's called the
see.
backbone.
It doesn't help that some of those bags were IPO bags.
Oh my God, is this?
Oh.
Oh. Masarap ba yung fruit shake? Ganun ba yun? Nagets mo ba? Masarap ba yung
No.
fruit
This
shake?
one of the bigger ones was parang ano yun? This was a boating exercise.
Oh my God. Yeah, gets. Oh my God.
And he is bleeding. Oh my God. Probably my heaviest weight.
Ay,
We should have bought it to Mary Mart.
I'm
Should've.
curious about Mary Mart's valuation.
Yikes, man.
Something I should be studying now.
Yeah.
I was really thinking. I was so close to.
No, man. Kasi like when I first heard about Mary Mart, it felt like a South only operation, and then it started growing. So parang by that time,
A South.
like a South only.
South. Define South like a Alabang only.
Yeah, mga alabang Las Piñas, like that's diba, alabang Las Piñas Parañaque, like this isn't great yet when I first heard about it.
Or is this like Visayas Mindanao Ops? Like your Visayas?
No, just south of Manila. Nung una ko narinig, like they were that beginner like. Now,
I should have known though, because ang liit ng float nila eh.
Yeah, maliit lang.
And if that's usually an indicator of the price action, the first like
Pocholo Mart. The Mickey Marts.
Yeah, but I mean, like Converge. The reason that we had a feeling that the Converge IPO was going to go straight to hell on opening day was because ang laki ng market niya, ang laki ng market cap niya. But I'm still bullish on the company long term.
I'm thinking of putting some money down on
We can discuss offline, but those are my I have some takes on it, but we can only discuss offline.
Yeah.
So I guess I can say I'm looking forward to the stocks when I actually got the money and when I actually can find that goat head job.
Ooh, okay.